I want to start with him as well. Kirk Cousins, same quarterback, same offensive coordinator. The Vikings haven't been able to say those two things a lot in the past, haven't, starting with the same offensive coordinator and quarterback as the year before that. How much of a difference do you think it'll make having these two have a full offseason together, and now we'll get a full training camp together between Stefanski and Cousins?
I think it's going to make a huge difference. I think Kevin Stefanski grew by leaps and bounds as an OC last year. Now, here is the wild card. You've got Gary Bubiak, who now is as an advisor to both Kevin and to Kirk. Let's face it. You've got a guy that's been in the trenches. He's been in the huddle. He's been between the lines. Been there, done that. A winning pedigree. He's done it. So the knowledge, the wealth of knowledge and confidence that he's going to bring in that quarterback room and that offensive room, it's going to be enormous. Now, just consistency by itself, they're going to grow by leaps and bounds. Now you add Kubiak into the mix, a veteran coach, a veteran player. I mean, this guy's been a head coach. Come on. What better scenario that you can think of to have two head coaches? Now Zim can focus on the team and Stefanski and Kubes can focus on the quarterback, all of those situations, that offensive piece. Yeah, although Zim is the head coach, he'll have a say in things, but that's something that he can take away because you got Gary Kubiak. Now Stefanski in his second year as OC, Kirk second year as a starting quarterback. I think it bodes well for this football team. I'm really excited about that piece of Minnesota Vikings football.
We're here with Greg Coleman. I got two more left for you, and we'll let you go. We know you're a busy man. I wanted to get into your kicking career really quickly. How did you get into punting in your football career? When did you start punting? At one point in your career, did you think you were good enough to punt in the NFL? Just give me the background story behind that.
Well, I'll give you the 30-second down and dirty.
Yep.
Growing up, not very big, not very fast. Figured out I had to do something to play. Started kicking pop cans over the fence. Then I figured, oh, well, hell, everybody can't kick a can over a fence. Then I got a football. Start kicking them over the house. I would be in one alley and kick it across the house to the other. Then I kicked it across the electric wires. And pretty soon, I was always the last guy chosen. Okay, well, Greg is going to kick. But I kicked for both teams. And I figured out that was something pretty special because I kicked for both teams. Nobody would hit me. Nobody would touch me. I was watching a game between the Baltimore coach and somebody else. They had those clean, pretty white uniforms on. Everybody else was bloody, muddy, and dirty. The punter went out, kicked the ball, walked back to the bench in his clean white uniform. At a very young age, I said, that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to be. And I was nourished in high school, Pop Warner football, high school, and in college I had an awesome coach at Florida A&M, a kicking coach by the name of Acosta Kittles. We call him Pop Kittles. And practicing one day, I'm just booming him down the middle, and Pop said, baby, why don't you kick it where they ain't? I said, what? Pop, that doesn't make sense. He said, well, kick it where they ain't. I said, what do you mean? Why are you kicking it down the middle? I said, well, that's where he's standing. He said, my point exactly. Make him work as hard as you're working. Kick it to the corners, kick it to the right, kick it to the left. So that was my forte coming into the NFL, the ability to put the ball in the corners. And when Bud Grant saw that, after I was cut by Cleveland, after Bud saw that I had the ability to do that, spent the next 10 years here in Minnesota kicking to the corners. And if I ever wanted to get the dander of Bud Grant or my coaches or even my teammates up, kick the ball down the middle. No. Had to be to the right, had to be to the left. I had some great gunners, starting with Joey Bronner, Keith Nord, the late Keith Nord, Terry LeCount, Carl Lee. I mean, and a lot of these guys went on to be all pro, but they started being my gunners on my punt team.